Tesla has decided to remove the ultrasonic sensors in its newest vehicles that start delivery in October of 2022. This is due to Tesla's Tesla Vision, which uses only cameras to navigate the world around it, getting increasingly better and recently adding the occupancy network, which can detect objects around it, big or small, and use that information to tell the car what to do when it's navigating its surroundings while using full self-driving beta. Now, Tesla made a similar move last year when they removed the radar and moved to camera only for all of their self-driving, including full self-driving beta, navigate on autopilot, and they had new cars coming with no radar while the older cars still had their radar enabled. So much like that last time, if you already own a Tesla and you already have ultrasonic sensors, for now this is really not going to affect you, and probably not for a long time, and this may never affect you at all in your user experience. But if you are going to take delivery of a car soon, at least in North America, of a Model 3 or a Model Y, you're probably not going to have the ultrasonic sensors on your car. Tesla is also removing them from the Model S and the Model X, although that's not happening until 2023. Although I wonder, the Model X uses a lot more ultrasonic sensors. So all Teslas today have 6 in the front and 6 on the back bumper, and they just are used low to the ground for really close objects, less than 20 feet or 6 meters. But in the Model X, you have them on the roof. You actually have them in the Falcon Wing doors, so as the car is coming out, it can detect if something's there and stop, or either lift straight up, as you're kind of seeing in this demo, although we have our car set to always fully open in our garage, so that's why it kind of bumped into me there. But if we didn't have that setting enabled, the door would have slowly lifted straight up until it had enough room to lift up over my head. Now, if you're wondering why I'm in this weird little space, we're getting our basement finished. It starts in the next couple of days, and so it's going to be really rough for me with YouTube and editing and trying to get stuff done on this computer, but I'm going to do my best. So kind of a weird setting for now, but after I'll have a sweet office to record these videos in. Also, if you like the hat, I got some carbon negative merch. Yes, if you buy it, you actually help the environment by buying this stuff. So check it out. You can use my discount code DirtyTesla, and there are some pretty sweet designs. So first of all, what are ultrasonic sensors used for in the cars today? They're used at slow motions for objects that are really close to the car, again, like less than 20 feet or 6 meters, and they can let you know of objects around the car. You may have noticed these kind of curved lines that show up even when you're driving or when you're pulling into a parking spot, and they'll be white if the object is farther away, and they'll slowly turn to red as you get closer to the object. And while you're parking, they'll actually ding at you if you get really close, and you'll get a high-pitched constant ding if you get really, really close to an object with these ultrasonic sensors. They're also used in regular summon, where you tell the car to move forwards and backwards. They're used in smart summon to an extent when the car is navigating a parking lot, and they did also used to be used in auto park, although Tesla has switched their auto park to a vision system that actually does work better than the ultrasonic system. But due to this removal of the ultrasonics, at first, if you're getting a car delivered, you're not going to have access to summon, smart summon, auto park, or park assist. Ouch, park assist is really helpful, especially when you park in a garage if it's a tight space. I know we use it on the Model X every time we park in the garage. We have that sensor get down to about 15 or 16 inches, and we know we're in the perfect parking spot. I don't know how cameras are going to mimic that, but I guess Tesla has a plan. So what are the benefits of getting rid of the ultrasonic sensors? Not for me and you, for Tesla, silly. What are the benefits for Tesla? It's going to be easier to manufacture these cars. It's going to be lower cost for them to manufacture these cars. We probably won't see that passed on to us, but you never know. Also, there will be less things to repair. If you even have one of these ultrasonic sensors damaged, you can't use any of your driver assist systems. Your auto park won't work, your summon won't work, none of that will work, and you have to go in, get the sensor fixed before any of that will work. So there will be less there for Tesla to have to fix in the future, although unless people are bumping into the wall all the time because now they don't have their ultrasonic sensors. Okay, now let's compare this to Tesla Vision from last year when the radar was removed. There was a lot of panic, a lot of people thought it would work worse than it did with the radar, and I actually picked up my Model Y with Tesla Vision shortly after they made this change, and my Model Y did not have a radar in it. Now, I was coming from a Model 3 that did have a radar, so I had kind of a perfect comparison of how the car performed with and without the radar. And I do have to say, for the most part, I actually did prefer the Tesla Vision system right off the bat, although there were a few things that were not very nice. Back in the day, some of these have changed, but back in the day, the max speed was 75 miles per hour. The closest follow distance was 3, where it used to be 1 with the radar, and we were also missing Smart Summon when it first came out. Now, fast forward to today, and pretty much everything is on parity with the radar system, other than the closest follow you can have is 2, and the max speed is 85 now instead of 90 that it was before. Although I was happy to see the bump to 80 miles per hour, because that's kind of the fastest I go anyway. But I know there are still some people out there that are bummed that the max speed is 85, and before, I get it from the Europeans in the comments, there are roads in Michigan where the speed limit is 85. And people speed here. So when the speed limit in Michigan is 70, people are going 80. So you can imagine when the speed limit is 85, people are going much more than that. Now, when you first picked up that radarless car, when this was a brand new thing, that might have been a bummer, where you didn't have some of those features that you would have had if you would have picked up your car a month before. But again, fast forward to today, and nobody probably even knows the difference. So we're gonna hope it ends up being the same experience with the ultrasonic sensors, although I wish Tesla would get these things fully baked before they would remove the sensors so that people just get what they paid for rather than having to wait for a software update. I can't imagine it'll take much more than 1 or 2 months, but at the same time, what a bummer. You get your new car, you paid for full self-driving if you did, and you can't even use Summon or Smart Summon. What a bummer. Now, another thing to note is none of the safety features will be affected. Tesla will not need to get a new rating for their safety features because the ultrasonics were not part of that. When Tesla Vision originally came out and the radar was removed, all of those safety tests needed to be repeated because this was a different system for those safety systems. Now, the good news about Tesla Vision in that regard is it is actually the same or safer than the radar-based system was back in the day. So what does Tesla have to say about this change? Along with the removal of ultrasonic sensors, we have simultaneously launched our vision-based occupancy network, currently used in full self-driving beta, to replace the inputs generated by ultrasonic sensors. With today's software, this approach gives autopilot high-definition spatial positioning, longer range visibility, and ability to identify and differentiate between objects. So this all seems to be moving pretty fast because the occupancy network just came to full self-driving beta a month or so ago in full self-driving beta 10.69. And that branch has not been available to the public for very long. So again, if you have the ultrasonic sensors, these features will not be removed, and they will not really update you to not using those ultrasonic sensors until it's on par with what you have already, and then they'll be turned off. But by that point, you shouldn't really even know the difference if they're on or off. This just recently happened over a year later with Tesla Vision. Cars that had radar and were not using full self-driving beta were still using the radar up until very recently. So what are my thoughts on all of this? I actually love the ultrasonic sensors. I think they give a really good piece of information of objects really close to the car where the cameras simply cannot see. Now, if you're coming from a distance, of course, the car does have some type of memory in things that it's seen, and this occupancy network, from my experience, has been working really, really well. It's great at detecting all kinds of objects, big or small, and kind of remembering where they are in the world, and that the car either cannot go through them or needs to navigate around those objects once it sees them. Now, to be honest, I do have some faith in the engineers here. I do think they can get this all figured out, but my thought is when I park, say, in my garage, yes, as I'm pulling up, the cameras can see everything and kind of have it mapped and whatever, and I can get into my parking space just fine. But after the car turns off and goes to sleep and I come out the next morning, will it still have a memory of those surroundings and know where everything is? Now, maybe it's not that important because all you gotta do is back out of your garage, but still I think it's an important question and I hope that it's not overlooked. I'm not too surprised at this move. Tesla has said over and over and over again, you just need cameras to do this. I'm not the guy to answer if that's correct or not. Actually, nobody is until Tesla basically proves to us that yes, your car can fully drive itself with just these cameras. Check it out. I will say, while beta still has its quirks, it has been getting insanely impressive lately. It gets better and better, and I'm having more and more zero intervention or zero disengagement drives where the car successfully gets me A to B, which is not something I could say when I was using the version that had radar enabled. Actually, was curious if the ultrasonic sensors are already turned off in beta, and I think they might be. So check out this little test I did outside. I covered my ultrasonic sensors with tape and tried to enable beta, and it actually worked. All right, here we go. So I've messed up the ultrasonics this time. I had to have the tape coming off of the car just a little bit. So we got park assist unavailable, but I can turn beta on. Oh, well, hold on, I know I can. There we go. I'm just in my driveway, so I'm gonna turn the speed down a little bit, and we'll go out onto the street here. I know I'm not recording outside, but you can see if we look at the visual here, it has this red. So I have one on that left side, on the driver's side, and then I have two pieces of tape on the front, which seem to be being ignored. Please pay attention to the road. It knows I'm looking at the screen, even in the dark, pretty good. But yeah, so you can see that ultrasonic is detecting something there, which is the tape, but the car is willing to drive, and it doesn't seem to care that it's detecting something there. So beta may already be not using the ultrasonics to do anything. Again, I'm on a dirt road. It's like a gravel roundabout, so the car's being a little goofy, but yeah, beta can drive without ultrasonics right now, so they may already be disabled. So you can see as I'm driving manually here, we still have that warning, just the one on the left is being picked up for whatever reason. And if I move towards, I have like a little storage container thing here. It is not being picked up as it was before. So yeah, moving towards this. So the ultrasonics are covered. They're not doing their job because they're not giving me the warning up ahead for this object. But hey, what do we have here? We have the occupancy network, which is showing me something is ahead of my car. So that's pretty cool that this object is being displayed, even though we know the ultrasonics are not currently picking it up. So let's make that full screen so you can really see the car understand something is there and hopefully would not drive into it. So what are your thoughts? Is this stupid of Tesla? Do you think it'll be fine and they can handle it? What if you're waiting for a new car? Are you disappointed? Not a big deal. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you down there, and you will see me in the next video.